Welcome to Personal Pension Radio Podcast, where you get unconventional insights into retirement and lifestyle design that actually work. You don't have to settle for the same tired Wall Street advice. Break away from the herd and learn how to achieve the retirement lifestyle of your dreams. And now, here's your host, the income engineer, Kraig Strom.
Okay, back on Personal Pension Radio. We had a bit of a week off, a bit of a break for Christmas. And back in 2017, absolutely excited about 2017. Big things in my financial practice personally that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. Updates forthcoming. Now, you are back on Personal Pension Radio. I am Kraig Strom, the income engineer. That is an official trademark title. I always love that plaque that's on my wall. I've got a beautiful framed picture of my trademark that I got from the United States Patent and Trademark Office as the income engineer. It's kind of cool. Broadcasting from the Personal Pension Radio Workshop Studio here in Southern California. Now, I have had a lot of questions lately as far as me and my background and so forth, so I thought, with 2017, brand new year, this is episode number 103. Thank you all so much for supporting the show and the consistent sharing and questions that come in. I mean, it's just been fantastic. I really appreciate it. So, with this new year, I thought I'd give you some background. Absolutely ask me anything in the show. If you'd like to go to Personal Pension Radio and you want to ask a specific question about me, personally, professionally, I'm always happy to entertain any question you might have. But let me hit the basics, make sure that you've got some background on me. I am born in the great forested state of Maine. Came to California a long time ago now by way of a Disney World vacation. And that's a long story in and of itself, but been living in California most of my life. Still have a passion for visiting Maine and going back to the lake and getting back to the woods. But I am here in California. A lot of great things here in Southern California, of course. Now, me personally, I am a certified financial planning professional, a CFP. I'm also a chartered financial consultant, a ChFC, and I'm an investment advisor representative. So all of that together means that I have done my darndest to be extremely well qualified to sit here in front of this microphone and talk to you about retirement planning and life insurance and investments and whatever questions that you might have and topics that might be out there. I have worked really hard for a great many years now. Gosh, 17, 18 plus years. I've lost track. Well, let's see. I've got a 19-year-old daughter attending Flagstaff, or Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff. So, gosh, I guess I've been doing the financial advisory thing for pushing 17, 18 plus years, I guess. Wow, it's amazing. Now, I am married to my infinitely patient and awesome wife, Amy. And she and I live here in Southern California with our two fur people. We love dogs, and so we've got Bear and Jesse who rule the roost, if you will, here at the house. Now, on a personal note, I am a woodworker. So when you hear me say that I am broadcasting from the Personal Pension Radio Studio Workshop, literally here in my wood shop, here at the back of my property, where I build any number of various different things. I built some Christmas presents for friends and neighbors this year. I do enjoy that. Woodworking is my therapy. I am also passionate about cars. Cars. I actually organize and run a weekly car show here in Corona, California called Cars and Coffee Corona. Look it up on Facebook. You can find my Facebook page there, Cars and Coffee Corona. And I also have, with a partner of mine, I have a car dealership license so that we're able to buy and sell and trade cars because I figure why not? If you're going to be passionate about cars, might as well start a car show and a car dealership and just go full on into it, right? So that, in a nutshell, is me personally. Now, professionally, what I'm really passionate about is family for sure, of course, but my work as a CFP, this passion that I have, and I guess a lot of people have mentioned it in my podcast and people that I meet in person, that I really don't have a great poker face, meaning that I don't have the ability to mask my true feelings. I get very energetic when I talk about certain topics. And as a financial planner, a big thing that has it's just consumed me now is this retirement income planning and the investment advisory work that goes into helping people plan for a retirement or plan for the sale of a business that they might go into transition to something else. Maybe they're not retiring, but this whole idea of how the accumulation, think investments and invest, accumulation of returns and assets is so disconnected from the conversation around how we take income from the investments that we've accumulated. Now, you see, I was educated by the Wall Street financial advisory machine. I was never taught to pay attention to really what was behind the curtain. I was taught like a young financial advisor, and like most financial advisors are taught still today, that you just do this, you do that. This is the way you sell this mutual fund. This is the way you sell this variable annuity. This is the way you sell this investment. This is the way you sell this life insurance. This is the way you sell this annuity. And as a good student, young green thumb financial advisor, you just do that. That's what you do. And I was taught really never to look behind the curtain. And like I said, most advisors today have been educated by this same machine that taught me that the messaging that worked best for the machine that was teaching me, aka Wall Street and banks, right? So Wall Street has an agenda. They have an agenda and they teach in a certain way and they teach certain things. And the truth be told, they teach accumulation is the answer to everything. Invest. But what I found, and especially with the Great Recession of 2008, 9, 10, and that big financial calamity, what I found is that the education that I received was only half right. It was only half the complete picture, because if you do not have an accumulation strategy that then translates into a distribution strategy, then I almost said it, I'm going to say it, you're screwed. If all you have is an accumulation strategy, you're screwed. If you don't have something that ties your financial plan together with a distribution strategy, because the economic reality of accumulation versus distribution is 180 degrees different. The distribution conversation is completely different than the accumulation conversation. And that's where my passion is. My passion is talking to as many people as I possibly can to get this message out there, to hopefully pull you back out of line. This is what I call it, standing in line with the rest of the sheep at the Wall Street information trough, and you're fed exactly what they want you to hear, that the answer is save more money, save more money, save, invest. Those are all great mantras for accumulation, but they are not the answer to maximum retirement income. That's what I'm really passionate about in my work, is getting that message out. The challenge with that, and I've spoken about this on this show before, the challenge is that my message, there's not nearly as many financial planners that are trying to teach the general public about retirement income and the reality of retirement income planning and how different it is than accumulation. There's just not that many of us out there teaching it, talking about it. And so we tend to be drowned out by the overriding message, by the big booming voice of Wall Street saying that the answer to everything is to invest more money. I've given this example before, but I got to keep reminding you that the financial services companies spend about $17 billion a year on marketing. $17 billion a year on marketing. They spend $54 per person per year. That's incredible. That doesn't even count marketing of retirement products, college loans, and other investment products. That's a massive amount of money that they spend on accumulation marketing, right? And don't get me wrong. Remember, I believe that you've got to have a strong accumulation strategy. But when you look at the overwhelming message out there from Wall Street and the financial community, it is accumulate, accumulate, accumulate. So my passion, my energy level comes from, man, I better just have the loudest voice I can possibly get so that my fans, my listeners, my clients, my prospective clients, other financial advisors, they might actually stop and pay attention long enough that they get just a little bit of an inkling. And this is what I hope happens today with you right now, is that you get this little urge to step out of line and say, well, maybe think first, gosh, am I one of those sheep just standing in line, just doing what everybody else is doing without actually asking a question? Unfortunately, the answer to that is most of the time is yes. So my passion is to get that message out, to encourage you to step out of line, to get out of line, lift your head, ask some questions, raise your hand, ask some questions, challenge what is being taught, because what is being taught is the same thing that was taught to me years and years and years ago, and it is only half the story. And if you're not getting the complete picture, you are not setting yourself up for the best possible retirement. And that's what this show is really all about. It's optimizing retirement income. But it does not happen with a product. It doesn't happen with a 401k. Maximum retirement income and lifestyle does not happen with life insurance or real estate or mutual funds or annuities. None of these things by themselves will help you to achieve maximum retirement income. But an integrated approach using, let's say, annuities and life insurance or real estate and mutual funds, there's an integrated approach that can bring all of these things together in the right balance. That's where the magic happens. And unfortunately, the financial advisory community in general has never been trained to do that. The answer is always, you just need more investment, or the life insurance person has been taught, you just need more life insurance, or the real estate person, oh, I just got to get more real estate. Well, unfortunately, all of those things are right to a point, but when it comes to maximizing income and cash flow for retirement, you've got to have the balance between all of those things working in the right ratios in the right order. And that's really where I get fired up, okay? So now, let me make sure I give you my disclosure. I am not an attorney. I am not a CPA. I am that certified financial planning professional that I mentioned earlier. I'm also a chartered financial consultant, a crazy car guy, and a woodworker. But with all of that said, please do not act on things that you hear on this show as if it was advice for you. And especially, please do not act on things that you hear from unlicensed, unregulated financial entertainers or radio or podcast people. If they're unlicensed, unregulated, you really got to be careful taking any kind of advice or steps, because that is where you need to meet with a qualified financial advisor with your situation one-on-one. For the record, if you'd like to do that with me, doesn't really matter where you are in the country. With technology today, I meet with clients and prospective clients all over the country. We do web meetings, and we've got webcams, and it's all fantastically cool and technical. But don't think that you have to meet with someone just in your neighborhood. If you really want to meet with me, if you'd like to have a conversation, go to personalpensionradio.com and just use the contact us there, and you can get to me right there. Now, let's jump into first segment here. Watch your step. Now, I heard this recently from a well-respected investment advisor, and first of all, I agreed with him for sure, but it was interesting that an investment advisor would say this because it's something that tends to maybe cause people to get nervous about investments. He said the stock market, the United States stock market in this example, was overbought. And overbought, just so you know, refers to a situation in which the demand for a certain asset or a security unjustifiably pushes the price of that asset to levels that are not justified by all the fundamental factors surrounding it. So essentially, it's kind of like the, that favorite toy, that's out there for sale and everybody wants it. And it just this overbuying and aggressive buying of it drives the price up. Well, what this investment advisor was saying was that the stock market is overbought. And I personally agree, but I also went out just to take a look and see what's the word out there in the media buzz. And sure enough, TheStreet.com has published very much the same thing. There's another article there that it's a recent article that said that the stock market is overbought no matter how we look at it. That all the fundamentals say that the market is overbought. Jim Cramer, Jim Cramer on Mad Money. He's on, CNBC, whatever his television show is. He is also publicly saying that the stock market is overbought. Now, does that mean we're going to have a giant crash, a stock market crash or something like that? Not necessarily. What this means is that it's time to seriously consider some cautionary decisions. That if you are not comfortable losing a substantial amount of your gains, you may want to have a plan in place to put some conservative moves in action, right? That if it's overbought, that could lead to a situation where things that are overbought, the price tends to come down. So watch for that. If your financial advisor is not talking to you about this, that's another indicator that you might want to go to Personal Pension Radio and get in touch with me, and let's have a conversation. I'd very much look forward to it. Now, in this segment, Watch Your Step, I want to add this New Year's resolution challenge. So New Year's resolution challenge, please, this year, spend more time planning your finances, planning your retirement than you do planning your next vacation. Okay? That's actually a fact that has not changed in years. That people in surveys say that they spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their retirement on a year-by-year basis. The numbers never change. There's even stats out there that say people spend less than 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes in their 401k investment portal online. I mean, if you had lucky enough to have a 401k, you're not going to spend more than 40 minutes in an entire year checking on it and double checking on it. So here's my challenge for you for a New Year's resolution 2017. Pick up the phone, and hopefully you call me. Pick up the phone, by that, go to personalpensionradio.com, get in touch with me. You can also call me. My number's on the website. You can call 877-297-5851. Now, that number goes directly to me as well. But pick up the phone, send an email, do something to get in touch with a financial planner today, now. New Year's resolution time. Forget about losing 5 pounds. How about you try and get a hold of $50 or $100 or $200 or $300,000 in retirement wealth that you might miss out on because you didn't actually make a phone call, that you didn't actually follow through with it. We're talking some serious consequences that I'm encouraging you to make that resolution. Pull out your 401k statement. Do you know how much you're paying in fees? Do you have any idea if you are over diversified? Huh? not diversified. Are you over diversified? Are you overpaying in fees, right? Do you know? If you don't know, you got to get that in front of a financial planner. Do you know whether your life insurance is adequate for your economic situation? Is your human life value covered correctly? Do you own investments that you don't understand? Do you own life insurance or annuities that you don't understand, right? Make that resolution, make that commitment to spend more time planning your finances than you do on your vacation, and do it right away. Go to personalpensionradio.com, get in touch with me there. I'm an easy phone call, and especially you can do it from your living room. You can talk to me, the income engineer, without having to get in the car, without having to load yourself up and go anywhere. I'll make that offer. Doesn't cost anything to have a conversation with me, and it's be well worth it. I look forward to it. Now, segment 2. This is listener questions, stories, client questions, etc. So I met with a prospective client recently, and this person asked this question. He said, "Can you show me what your investment portfolio would look like?" And what he was referring to is that, let me get this straight, just so you know, he has a financial advisor that he's been with for about 16 years now. And someone that he considers to be a friend now. Wasn't originally a friend, but has become a friend, and he likes this guy. He really does. And I appreciate the loyalty, and that's why this conversation went the way it did. Okay? Because when he met me at the urging of his son, who knows me and knows the way I work, and his son kind of felt like maybe dad was probably not getting served as well as he should by his friend, the other financial advisor. So dad agreed to let me review his portfolio. Now, we sat down actually recently, and I gave him, my analysis, and I went through it. Now, dad then said, "Well, can you show me what your portfolio would look like if I moved my investments to you? What would you do differently? That way, I can look at it over the next 6 months, and I can decide which one of you, earns the business." Okay, so you catch that? So basically, he wants to keep his friend as financial advisor today, but he wants to see what I might do. And 6 months from now, we'll see who wins, and maybe he'll give me the business. Well, number one, that doesn't work for me, right? My response was no. I'm not interested in that. Let me tell you what I said, though, in addition. I said, I can guarantee you an increase in your net return by at least $11,000. Now, $11,000 is a lot of money. I hope most people agree. I mean, I don't think Bill Gates would walk by $11,000 on the sidewalk. He'd probably pick that up, okay? My point is, I said, I'll guarantee you an increase in your net return by at least $11,000. And he said, "Well, how are you going to do that? What kind of a portfolio are you going to do?" And I said, "I don't have to do anything different. I'll keep the exact same portfolio you have now, but I'll just charge you 0.5% less than your friend is charging you. I'll charge you less than your friend, the current advisor, and save you $11,000 a year in fees." Okay? My caution to you, the listeners, right now, don't let friendships or being uncomfortable about talking to somebody about how much they get paid and asking them to cut their fees. Don't be shy. This is business. Most people would never throw away $11,000, right? You wouldn't set $11,000 on fire in the backyard wood stove. You wouldn't leave $11,000 randomly on the table at Starbucks, right? $11,000 is a lot of money, and this guy is basically leaving it on the table every single year because he's uncomfortable about the idea of talking to his now friend, who's been his financial advisor for years now. He's uncomfortable about having that conversation. And I said, I already know. I know the outcome. That if I compared 6 months of investments or 12 months of my investment style and my plan, I already know without a doubt that I will trounce this guy in net rate of return because I'm going to cut the fees being charged in that portfolio. No doubt, right? I already know that. I don't have to prove it. Now, if we went down that road and we spent 6 months messing around with portfolio analysis and hypotheticals, well, this guy is going to spend another $6,500 unnecessarily in fees. So my response was no. You can either work with an advisor who helped you learn the truth about your investment account, or you can go to your current advisor and ask him to lower his fees. Why would you want to wait 6 months? Go save the money now. Okay, so that was my response. And when you think about this, folks, remember, don't get wrapped up on $11,000. I want you to get wrapped up on $429,000. Because $11,000 a year in fees, by 20 years, that's simple, $220,000. But if you actually could earn a 6% rate of return over that 20 years, that $11,000 is actually $429,000. This fee that is unnecessarily high, in my opinion, and in the opinion of several other financial advisors that I asked, this fee that he's being charged is unnecessarily high. Okay? No offense to you financial advisors out there listening, but dang, the fee on this particular account was way too high. So when you look at $11,000 over 20 years at 6%, that's a $429,000 loss, right? That's huge money, big money. So please don't put yourself through that. Don't put it off. This is why I suggested in that Watch Your Step segment, make this your New Year's resolution. If you don't know how much your investment fees are all in, all the places you're getting charged fees, the hidden fees, the upfront fees, all the fees, if you don't know what the fees are, go to personalpensionradio.com, get in touch with me there on the website, and let's talk. I'll go through and give you my take on it, and you can make the same decision one way or another. It'll be good. I definitely guarantee it. Now, last question here that came in said the question was, in your last episode, you talked about the 4 wealth objectives. Do you have a client handout or a brochure that covers that the 4 wealth objectives? The answer to that is yes. So if you would like to get my 1-page document that details out the 4 wealth objectives, which are an outstanding way to judge an investment or an opportunity, if you'd like to get a copy of that, please go to Personal Pension Radio, send me a message through the website there at personalpensionradio.com, and I'll be happy to email you a PDF copy of the 4 wealth objectives. Now, trying to make sure that my episodes, one of my New Year's resolutions for you, my faithful, loyal, wonderful listeners, is to make these episodes right around the 30-minute mark. And I want to keep to my New Year's resolution here on the first episode. So I want you to think about this. And I've said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it. The future belongs to those who take action. Remember the 4 frogs on a log. 4 frogs on a log, 3 of them decide to jump. How many frogs are left? All 4 of them are still on the log because the 3 of them, they only decided to jump. They didn't get off the log. So take action today. Put your financial house in order. Put it first in priority. Get off the log. I am here to help. I'm Kraig Strom. I'm the income engineer. Hopefully you get the idea. I am passionate about this topic, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again real soon. Happy New Year. Take care, everybody. Be safe, be well, be nice to your friends, your family, your coworkers. It's never worth the opposite. I very much look forward to talking to you again next time.
Thank you for listening to the Personal Pension Radio podcast. We took notes for you, so if you missed any part of the show, you can find a full transcript of each episode at personalpensionradio.com. Be sure to download your free retirement income crisis report at personalpensionradio.com. While you're at it, we would appreciate some iTunes love. Please leave us a fantastic rating on iTunes by going to personalpensionradio.com/iTunes. Thanks again for listening. Now for the disclosure. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not intended for solicitation, sale or purchase of any security or financial product. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and your tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed here. The term personal pension refers to a marketing name designed to educate future retirees and retirees about the economic principles behind creating their own pension-like income. The term personal pension is not intended to be confused with a defined benefit pension plan offered by an employer or by a government entity.